Dragon Ball Daima, episode 4. We watched it. It was dope. This is what happened. They're walking through the desert. Right after episode 3, they get their ship stolen, right, when they woke up. So now they're walking through the desert trying to get to the next level of the demon world, trying to get to level 2. They're in world 3. They're trying to get to world level 2. Make their way up to 1 so they can fight the Demon King and, yeah, get out of there. So as they're walking, you know, they're all chit-chatting, talking, and Goku's like, hey, man, why don't we just fly? Like, we know how to fly. And it's explained that the air in the demon realm is heavier than regular air, so I guess like it's like the gravity, but it's not necessarily gravity, it's just the air, they said. So like it wasn't really like the gravity's weighing on them, so when they walk it's hard to walk, but more so when they're flying, right? So they're flying and Goku's like, yeah, you're right, this air is pretty heavy, I guess it does make more sense to walk. So they're walking, they're chit-chatting, and then out of nowhere this like winged beast shooting fire out of its mouth comes like flying out of the sky kind of deal. It honestly looked like a sperm with wings, a big giant sperm dragon with wings. If you know what a sperm cell looks like, that's what it looked like, with just that with wings and a mouth, and like it was spitting fire. And Glorio sees it and he's like, all right, that's enough, we got to get this dude, we got to take care of this thing, right? So he jumps up in the air and he kicks it out of the air, and like for the first time, you know, you see him in action, you go, you know what, he's pretty nice. And the moment you think that, the moment you go, okay, I think Glorio is worth something here, Goku says the same thing. He's like, hey, you're pretty strong. And then so they get rid of that guy. They start walking again, right? And that dude was honestly pretty cool. The way that Akira Toriyama designs, you know, villains. I just love Akira Toriyama's character design. It's really top tier. It's not really like any other anime where, you know, you just see a lot of anime that's just like humans and like they have cool costumes and whatnot, but like Akira Toriyama and like Eiichiro Oda from One Piece's creator, they create really unique, you know, different kind of race monsters, and it's just awesome seeing. And so they continue walking, and Goku can sense somebody else is about to ambush them, and this big giant kind of just crashes through this big boulder right next to him, I guess, and then he's pretty much, you know, swinging his thing. I don't know, I think he maybe might have swung his this big old club he had and broke the boulder, but he ends up, you know, trying to attack the crew, which totally fails. Goku jumps up and he's like, oh yeah, this air is going to be a little tough. My body feels so heavy. So I guess it's kind of like gravity, but I don't think Goku should really have a problem with that if he's keeping all of his strength that he used to have. But anyway, he jumps up into the air, and this is what I'm thinking. Since they felt so light when he was on Earth, maybe that's going to counterbalance how he feels when he's in the demon realm, because now he feels a little heavier, so he might be more in control of his body, which it seems that's what it looks like, because he does this little dash, jumps up right into, you know, this giant's face and just kicks him right across the face. Boom, just kicks him perfectly. So it seems like he has a little bit more control, and we kind of explore that a little bit more in the episode. So right after he kicks that dude, knocks him out, they continue walking, and Goku, you know, he's starting to get a little hungry. So he's like, man, I'm getting hungry. Glorio's like, well, maybe just hold off, you know, for a little longer. We're about to be at the next town. And I think that's when they talk about it goes into no. So Glorio goes, yeah, well, maybe you could hold off until, you know, the next town. And so they end up And so they end up walking up to this like little mom and pop shop restaurant kind of deal, and this lady keeps bringing Goku out food, brings him out like a roasted lizard, and then brings him out a drink, right? And Goku can't wait to eat. He eats the roasted lizard. It looks like a chameleon on a kebab, and so he eats it. He loves it, obviously. Goes to drink the drink, and it's like super bitter. He doesn't like it at all, and she says it's like the most healthiest drink. It's not about, you know, the taste. It's just the healthiest drink in the universe, she says. And so that kind of hints at something pretty cool. So after he drinks that, and after they eat, Glorio talks to the owner, and he's asking if they have a ship for sale because he lost his ship, and he could pay him or whatever. And the owner goes, well, it's funny because the owner can't even hear, so he goes, wait, what'd he say? And then the girl who was making the food and bringing out the drinks, I'm assuming she's his wife, and she's telling him, well, he's looking for a ship, he can't, he's stuck here. And then he goes, oh yeah, I don't really have a ship, but we have a seed, a sky seed. Okay, so a sky seed is this pretty much a flower like looking like stem thing that you sit on. It pretty much looks like a Q-tip, and then it just shoots. You just get rocketed off, right? A sky seed. So he said it was going to be like $8,000 to use that. So Glorio was like, how far does it go? And he's like, oh, that'll get you about 120 kilometers, which is pretty far. Like, if you don't know how far 120 kilometers is, like, that's a good distance for being, like, catapulted somewhere. Especially, like, if you have to walk a certain, place. Like, just getting launched 120 kilometers in the direction you got to go is a really good head start. So he starts thinking about it. He's like, that sounds good, but 8,000 is kind of crazy. I don't know. I think I'm going to take my business elsewhere. And right when he says that, the owner goes, oh, wait, no, you can't do that. I'll do it for 5,000. And suddenly he could hear again, right? So Glorio knew he got him. He knew, he was like, I knew you were, he kind of gives him that look like, I knew you weren't deaf. So as they're talking, Goku and Shin, they're looking around the shop, and they see these little, like candy things with like a bug inside of them. So it's like it looked like a little fire ant with like a little bit of like a honey, stuck in like a little honey ball, and it looked like a piece of candy. So Goku's like, wait, what is this? Like, what does this do? It's a bug? And then the lady comes over and she's like, oh yeah, that's I forget what it's called, but it's like a little candy that restores all your stamina if you get depleted. So it's pretty much a sensu bean. And then that's what Goku says. He goes, oh, that's like a sensu bean, sweet. And then there's other ones that like rejuvenate your health, rejuvenate, like your strength or whatever. And so Goku begs Glorio if he could buy a bunch. He buys a bunch. And then as they were buying them, I was thinking, hey, if it restores their stamina, then they could just fly. Like, they could get to wherever they need to be. They just pop one in, fly, boom, zoom, wherever they need to go. Whenever they get tired, they just pop one. That's what I was thinking. And so Glorio ends up buying a bunch of different ones for Goku because they all do a bunch of different buffs. I forget specifically. So anyway, they are about to jump on the sky seed, and they're going to get shot across the sky, and they're going to start their journey again. So the owner brings out this, grand, he does like this crazy opening, brings the sky seed out, gets it all ready. It's pretty much a catapult. They all jump on it, launches them off in the air, right? So now they're all flying in the air. They're like, dang, this is nice. This is a crazy view. And they're like, yeah, this is pretty awesome. And then Shin goes, wait, so how are you flying this thing? And Glorio's in the front, and he's like, yeah, I'm not. We got to hop off before this thing crashes. So they start freaking out. Glorio and Shin and Goku, they pretty much, crash landing. They jump off, and they start their adventure again. Now, this time, Goku pretty much gets on his power pole, they start walking. This is where stuff gets a little interesting, because Goku asks about the demon Dragon Balls, the Demon Realm Dragon Balls, and he goes, wait, so Piccolo said something about the Demon Realm Dragon Balls before we left. What are those? And then so Glorio breaks it down. Since there's 3 demon worlds to go through, the third one, there's 1 Dragon Ball in each demon world. Okay, so the first one is in the third demon world. The second one would be in the second. There's going to be 1 in the third. So the third one would be the 3-star Dragon Ball. The second one would be the 2-star Dragon Ball, and the first one would be the 1-star Demon Dragon Ball. So there's a Dragon Ball in this world somewhere. Okay, and Glorio knows where it's at because they all know where each one is, because they're all guarded, right? So you don't need to worry about hiding the Dragon Balls if they're guarded, right? By strong demons, especially like guards that can't be beat in their given realm. So Goku has this grand idea. Well, why don't we just get the Dragon Balls if we got to save Dende, and we'll just use the Dragon Balls to save Dende, help him save us, or help us save Dende. So Shin goes, yeah, that might be a good idea. Like, you can see it on his face. He's like, And then Glorio goes, wait, no, you're actually onto something. But nobody's ever wished for a wish. No one's ever got the Dragon Balls and actually wished for a wish, because nobody's ever been able to beat the guards that guard the Dragon Balls, which are called the Tamagami. Okay, so the 3 Tamagami for each Dragon Ball. So one Tamagami has 3 guards. So there's 9 total Tamagami. Okay, we don't know what they look like. There was kind of a silhouette of 3 of them that are probably going to be the ones that are on World 3. Okay, so the other 2, we have no idea what they look like. We have no idea what their powers are. The ones on World 3 kind of look like the people and the bandits that we've seen so far. They kind of got the same cosmetic design and same kind of like aesthetic as terms of like what they're wearing. So that's interesting. Like, they kind of look like they match the world that they're in. And then so Goku goes, yeah, well, I think that's a good idea. We should go beat all the Tamagami. And he's like, are they close here? And then, Glorio tells him, well, they're on the other side of the transport fish that we got, that when we first got here. So they're actually on the opposite side of where we've been traveling this entire time. So now that's a big dilemma, because that's a really far ways away, right? And now they got to backtrack the first, 2 episodes that all this traveling we've done. Now we got to backtrack the other way, right? And as we do that, Goku gets on his big power pole, and he looks up and over. And I think that's when he was saying he was getting hungry. I don't know. I'm not sure. He's always hungry. So he gets up on his power pole, and he sees like a town, across the way. So they start walking towards that town, because that's also where they needed to go. And as they get up to the town, they start approaching. They see kind of like an army kind of giving a speech. So this one guy is pretty much just giving a speech to this village, and he's saying that, as many of you may know, King Dabura is dead, and that made King Goma the new Demon King. So King Dabura, that was controlled by Babidi's Majin magic, he was actually the king of the demon realm, and I didn't really put 2 and 2 together like that. That makes a whole lot more sense now, but he's like the actual OG king, and Goma is not really the real king, as you could say. So, and you could totally tell Goma's like a really little, funky looking dude, and Dabura was like, this big, scary demon. So, anyway, pretty much what he's telling the villagers is that you need to bring 3 gold coins for payment. And I think that's every day or maybe every week. And if you don't, then we take 9 years off of your life. And they have this crazy thing like so everyone has these bracelets, because one dude hears that, or not bracelets, necklaces, and this one dude hears that and he goes, oh hell no, I'm not doing that, turns around and runs. And that dude goes, well, thanks to your necklaces, we could just, we'll always find you. So he hits this staff, and this staff has like this magic power that pulls him towards him. So there's literally like no escape. You're a total slave to like whatever army this is, which is obviously Goma's army. And so they pretty much use him as an example. They take life force from him, and then they start getting everybody in a line. They take life force from the next guy, and then this old guy comes up, and he's like really old, and he doesn't have any coins. So they're about to take 9 years off of his life, and he's begging, please don't take 9 years off. And before they do, this little like hero character jumps out of the blues. They got a hoodie on, they got a mask on. You don't really know who they are. They kind of sound like a girl's here. Like, is it who could this be? And they pretty much throw out like this paper homemade bomb that really doesn't honestly do anything. It's just a dud. And then they chase them, and they turn around, they run, they try to get out of there. They're getting chased. they get grabbed. As they get grabbed, she kind of like pulls out this little shock stick and like tasers the dude that's grabbing her. She falls. She gets out of there. And as she gets out of there, Goku jumps in. So that's when Goku jumps in and starts whooping everybody. Okay, now when Goku jumps in, he's using his power pole. It's awesome. We love it. The action is sick. It really is nostalgic because this is the Dragon Ball that I grew up on, which is the OG Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So it's just awesome seeing, Mini Goku use his power pole. He hasn't used any ki blasts, nothing like that. It's just all martial arts. It's awesome. He's, zigzagging everywhere, hitting a bunch of people, extending his pole, and it's just a bunch of sweet, sequences. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, oh man, he's really just like getting warmed up with all of these guards. Like none of these guards are like, they couldn't hold, a flame to Goku right now. And he's just pretty much sparring with them, using them like as training. And you could kind of get that, feeling as you're watching it. And, towards the end, he beats them all up and he goes, man, I think I went too far, because they're all kind of like, all laid out, knocked out. And then like I was thinking, like, yeah, literally, like, he wasn't really even trying, and he didn't even realize he was going too far. Like, that's how weak these guys are. So that just proves to me that there's going to be some sick fights in this anime. Like, there's going to be some sweet battles, some sweet villains, because if we're getting this kind of like, sweet animation and smooth fight scenes like this, and it's just a warm-up for Goku, I cannot wait for him to like really be serious when he fights the Tamagami and other really strong demons and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to see if and when Goku gets his power up. And also, it was just an awesome episode. He whoops them all. They kind of like get out of there because now he's a fugitive. So they're like, yo, quick, we got to bounce. And they bounce. And Glorio's like, man, you're a fugitive now. Like, awesome. You just made this a whole lot harder. And then Goku was like, well, I just couldn't stand around and let those people do that, So he has a point. Shin was like, yeah, good point. That's true. And like, that's Goku. He's a nice guy. He's going to help people out. He's not just going to let something like that happen. So he ends up, they all do that. And then when they're talking, that girl, she shows up just on a rock right behind them, which is funny how Goku doesn't sense her, but he sensed, the big giant. I guess she's just probably super weak, where Goku just didn't sense her, and she's like, hey, who are you guys? And she pretty much takes off her mask, and it's a young girl, and you could kind of get the sense that she probably got affected by the Dragon Ball wish somehow, or she probably got wished to be younger in the past. She might be related to Goma, or she might be related to Glorio. She kind of looks like Glorio, but I could see her being related to the demon somehow, because she looks like she was changed into a younger person. So that's what I'm thinking. And then also, yeah, it was an awesome episode. It was a really fun episode. It was really cool. It just proves to me that I think in the future they're going to get, a lot better. I think there's going to be a lot of action, but I don't think that's going to be the focal point, because this seems like this is going to be a long anime series, to be honest, because they got to go through 3 worlds. They got to get the 3 Dragon Balls, and they're already really far from the first Dragon Ball. So they got to, go through a lot to get there. They got to get there. They got to get the ball, and then they got to find a whole other Dragon Ball in a whole different world before, so I think there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm really looking forward to it. I thought this was going to be a lot shorter of an anime. I didn't think it was going to be as big as what I'm actually thinking now. So I'm really excited for that, and I do think that this is actually going to be really good. And I think I'm going to eat my words a little bit, because I was talking about how, nobody really wanted this, but at the end of the day, if you're a real Dragon Ball Z fan, there's no, oh, I don't want this. It's Dragon Ball Z, bro. Like, we're going to watch it. We want it. We want anything more Dragon Ball Z we want, unless it's Dragon Ball Heroes. No one cares about that. But anyway, that's pretty much it. That was the episode, and yeah, we'll see where the next episode takes us, because we got to find out who this girl is, and we'll probably get her backstory next episode, and then who knows where to go from there. This is the cool thing. This feels like a One Piece kind of thing, where we're just going on this great adventure through this unknown land, trying to get to the Dragon Balls. And yeah, I think it's going to really be a big adventure. And I think that's what's going to push the anime more than the fight scenes and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to the adventure. I'm looking forward to everything that's going to be going on. And yeah, that was the episode. See you guys next week for the next one. See you guys in a couple days for the other episodes that I'm gonna, or the other videos I'm gonna be dropping. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn the notification bell on when I post. I do post daily, as much as I can. It's pretty much daily, and if I miss a day, just know that I'm gonna be posting the next day, whether that's a long video or a short. Okay, I'm trying to get my long videos back up because I do like making content like this, and I do like making long style videos. It really just keeps the audience engaged rather than just shorts. Shorts are just like, oh man, this dude's funny, and then, you know, let's watch this and get out, right? No, I like to keep you guys here. I like I want to grow a community here. So yeah, thank you guys for all the support. But other than that, like the video, comment, and drop a subscription, please. I'm out of here. Team Showtime. Love you guys. See you guys for the next one.